Hello everyone. Sorry if you hear kids screaming in the background, but the kids are on a roll today with making noise. So I wanted to make some of them, like, they were kind of like drawing type deals on old dictionary page and stuff, and I thought, oh, that would be a fun little thing to do. Relax a little bit, draw a little bit, see what happens. No. So I'm drawing nice little leaves here. I like the fine point better. These are Cali art markers. They're alcohol markers. They were the cheapest I could find on Amazon, so that's what I did. Rosie, you can stop. I'm videotaping right now. You can live without music for a little bit. Press the button then. They get a little bit obsessed about their music being on at night. Sometimes. So I'm making them look a little thicker. Again, this is just fun little ways to use some of them old maybe book pages you have. You don't necessarily have to use dictionary. I just am at the moment. But use what you have. You do you. That's what I like saying. Be yourself. Draw what makes you happy. I like, for example, drawing leaves. Some people like just drawing the basic lines. Some draw more intricate stuff. Again, you do you. And you could make these much smaller. I wanted to have fun with this. Just have a play. Don't necessarily have to be perfect in any way, shape, or form. I think Gail did hers in paint. You could paint instead of using marker. I wanted to use marker. I like these fine tips. So I recently started watching the old Cold Case files. I haven't watched it in, I want to say, a little over a year, that series. And the only place I can find that series is on like the free TV and channels you get with having a Roku. So just so a heads up. It comes with the commercials and everything, which, again, it's been a while since I've had commercials and all that jazz, so it's been definitely a fun little adventure here that I've been having. I have no idea what I'm doing. Again, I'm just having a bit of fun here and there. And that's what you're supposed to do, is have fun. You don't necessarily need everything to be perfect. Again, it just gives it a different look. Very different. Some of these colors are very muted compared to others. Yeah, I'm just making a bunch of little, basically G shapes everywhere. So that's number one. And it went right through this. So that's okay. Sometimes that's what happens. But again, this one is very thin. But when I go to use it on something I'm working on, I have it. That's all what matters. I want to use this color, but this one I'm going to use the broad end. And I think I'm going to take a scrap piece of paper here. I have one of these pieces, and I can hopefully just slide her right on through and not really care. Again, I'm just making random lines. What? Are you tattletale tonight? Well, alright, Rosie, I'll deal with it in a little bit. I am filming. And? Okay, well, I'll fix it in a little bit. Anything to stay up later. In a little bit, Rosie. Shut the door. Rosie, just shut the door. Yeah, I'm not really paying attention to these lines, how they're forming. Just wiping my piece across it and oops, trying to make sure it's somewhat straight. You know what I really should do? Just pull this off. That's what I'm gonna do. And just grab from a pile. Alright. Again, I'm just trying to use what I have here. I got this idea, again, from videos that Gail Augustinelli did, and I know Roxy Creation did on painted papers. But instead of me painting the papers, I decided that I was going to go a different route and use marker. There. Yeah, just again, gridded look to it. Oops. Ooh, I know what I'm doing next. I do think there's 2 pieces, yep. I'm just going across and making dashes. Some shorter, some longer. That was actually quite easy and simple, but again, it gives that same look as the painted did. Let's grab this blue. Have no clue if it's big or small. Again, I'm having a play. As I said before, you can get real intricate, or you can just have a play with it. My paper keeps on wanting to move on me. So it looks more like scribbles than anything, but again, something simple. So I hope you liked this, going off and different ideas you can do that are like the painted papers. But if you have markers, or even like, let's fiddle around with different types of things, not just markers, or not just like alcohol markers. So I have these fine tip washable Crayola markers. So I'm going to do this. And because these are washable Crayola markers, or I'm sure there's many other kinds of kid markers that you could use that are washable, I just want to show you what you can do with them quick. Okay, so I have one of these, and you can move around the pigment want to come out. Okay, I'm going to use a different one because my water's not wanting to come out the right way. Ooh. So this is just a bottle with water on it. The water does color the page. Then I can easily pick it up on the other side of it a little bit here by doing that. But again, the water does change the color of the page a little bit here and there. Again, I didn't think this through too well. I'm just picking it up with this, but you get what I mean. You can use that to get a little bit of a watercolor look. And even this now has that orange. So, again, you can create like that. You could also use watercolor. Don't get me wrong, you can use that. Also, I have these Morphone metallic markers, and I love these markers. Again, my go-to is dots. If I can't come up with anything offhand, I make dots. I'm trying not to make this boring, but I do want to finish the page, so this is what I'm doing. So there we go. One that just consists of dots, and it's metallic-y, like kind of mica color to it, shimmer to it. And this one is water-based. So technically these ones will leak if you get it wet. So you get a heads up. And if you don't have markers or anything like that, you can use crayons. You can grab a colored pencil. Let's use a darker colored pencil. And again, you can use your colored pencil to create that look you want. This is great for using when you're collaging and all that jazz. You just got that extra little oomph somewhere. So again, that whole concept. Then, of course, you got it. So you can go off and do that. I also have watercolor pencils. So you could make for example, yeah, it seems kind of weird. Why is she making a bunch of dots randomly? I'm not the greatest person at this stuff, but I do understand how to do a little here and there. Now let's just see if I can find the right pencils. This would work. And again, I'd probably, after I'm done making all of these flowers, I'll use my little watercolor brush and paint away. I just want to use one of my watercolor brushes that I know is going to work. Oh, that one definitely is going to work. Okay. To give it that watercolor look. And again, I'm just lightly coloring it in the space. And I'm trying to wipe some of that green away so we can get this red nice and bigger. So, there we go. And I'll be doing that across the whole thing. Just not right at this moment. I'll probably do that off screen later on. But then, of course, the whole piece has a watercolor look. So again, you have multiple ways you could be doing it. Colored pencil, watercolor pencil, metallic marker. This is the markers that we used for the alcohol markers. You could go off and do something like this and use Crayola marker. So just enjoy yourself. You can use paint. You can use anything that's going to give it color and not be just plain paper. You can use. So I recommend using your stuff. You could even, this is something that other people have shown me too, another little tidbit that you could do to your papers that kind of has to do like this. If you're the type of person who don't have a whole lot, but you buy the Distress Ink minis, for example. I just grabbed a couple here. Or, yeah, distress inks. Or if you have a stencil, for example, even stencils and distress ink. You don't have a whole lot of supplies, you just have stencils and distress ink. Well, this will create a really unique, again, collage paper just by distressing. Forgot that I have to goog on this. I used it on a different project, but again, it gives it that a completely different look, don't it? So you can use ink that way to make collage papers if you want to. You can dip this in there and just create. This is distress ink. Ain't that pretty? Just by using the distress ink, dipping my water brush and distressing. And all I'm doing is scribbling, honestly, with these, or moving them back and forth. You can paint with these. A lot of people don't realize that you can do this. So, you can make collage papers out of your old inks. And if you have just a plain brush that doesn't have water, you can get a regular brush and do the same thing. Just dip it in water. And this is actually reactivating my distress ink here. And all I'm doing is wiggling them. Ain't that cool? Just a cool effect. Last one. And then I'll quit with the distress inks. This one's Rusty Hinge. I just thought a little bit of brown might be better than always the same stuff. So again, now I have a very, very bright decorative paper, but it's still decorative. So again, you can come up with anything that you can do, anything with color. If I had them woodies, I'd probably be using them too to do the same exact thing if you ever need collage paper. Oil pastels you could have fun with. You could, again, there's a million and one things you could be doing with these in particular. Sorry, my tray where I keep my distress inks minis are different. So now we've got the two ways with distress inks. We got watercolor pencils, regular colored pencils. We have metallic markers. We have plain alcohol markers, which are these 4, and we have watercolor or water washable markers that you could have fun with and decorate your papers with. So, I mean, again, and it just keeps on going. There's so much you can do. If you cannot afford to buy a million different things in order to create, start somewhere. If you can't afford people's digitals and that type of thing, but you have dictionary page, or like in this case, I used old book about the presidents in 1800, or I've even pulled out, you could do any old book page honestly, but there was one other one that I want to show you. You could use this one, is old math book pages. They're obsolete. The math isn't exactly what it was. And so I used this. So, again, lots of things you can do. Lots of different papers. So I hope you enjoyed this video. And have a great day or night. Bye.